SH Figuarts Egghead Luffy was honestly a disappointing release to me, simply because he suffered from a major quality control issue with his arm falling off that legit made him so frustrating to pose. Also, he barely came with anything, so despite his good looks, the release was a disappointment to me.
Oh brother, this guy stinks!
Which did have me a little skeptical about the next release, Chopper, because I was worried at first that it could fall short like the Luffy.
You tripping, bro? You tripping?
But looking at the promos, I really didn't see any areas that concerned me majorly. And it's SH Figuarts Chopper, the first of its kind. Plus, he's like a $35 release, which isn't bad at all. And it's now here, so let's get this review started. First, looking at the packaging, it's cute. The design is clean and it's colored to match Chopper's attire in this art. It's pretty cool and has the matte theme over the white parts. Also, we cannot see the figure inside as he is pretty much covered up by his name and promo image. He's just like creeping.
Just standing there, menacingly.
Then there's two promos of the figure and its name. The top of the box has a signature Straw Hat cutout that every release in this line gets. Here's the right side of the box and then here's the left side. Then the bottom of the box has a promo image of the figure. Here's the back of the box and it shows off the figure fully. Though all the gray and the words and stuff low-key makes it sort of depressing to me. But at least the front isn't like this and has me excited to open the figure up. So with that being said, let's get this review truly started. SH Figuarts Chopper is a decent and cute release as I've had a fair bit of fun playing around with it. But I will say, it's decent at best because it doesn't offer anything that would make it above that rating. Like, the main thing that is carrying this release is the look, as I do think it looks great. The figure does a good job capturing the cute essence of Chopper. He's small, like really small, and that's accurate. Also, his proportions are done fairly well as he has his oversized head and little body. Though, is his head a little too big or is it the face? Might be the face because some of the references I've seen, his face is a little bit smaller. It really doesn't bother me that much though because it's not horrible. Also, I'd like to mention, I personally don't like post-time skip Chopper's design or proportions over pre. But for some reason, it doesn't bother me with Chopper in this attire. But like Fishman Island Chopper's design, man, I just don't like it.
Know your fucking place, trash!
But let's not get sidetracked and look at the other elements of his look. The detailing I think is good all throughout it. There's a lot of unique things going on, such as his helmet. It's done really well. The actual helmet part is shiny to give it a real helmet look, and then the goggles are clean and have like a matte finish on them. And the same goes for the antlers, the brim, and the lower helmet portion. Really love the different finishes on this one area, as it looks great. Then his visor is clean and we can see his eyes well. Then for his jacket, it's painted pretty clean for the most part as there really isn't any sloppy areas. Only issue I have with it is the little mold breaking marks and the fact he has visible pinned elbows. Don't really like the way the pins are visible as it gives the figure a cheap look, but I'm guessing the size of this figure had something to do with this decision. And I guess it's not the worst since they don't majorly stick out, but visible pins on any premium figure like this is never anything that I'm fond of. Then on his back he has his backpack on and it looks fine, and it has this hole in it which is for a stand that he comes with. Then his little hand hooves are sculpted and painted well. Then for his boots, they are just a tiny sculpted pink shiny plastic. Looks fine, though I feel like there should be some other sort of coloring on it, like especially on the bottom, but this could be accurate. Also, these little thingies move. So yeah, overall, I think Chopper's look is good as he captures his look from his art very well. And I'm impressed with the multiple finishes this figure has to differentiate the materials his fit and body is made out of. So that's great. But what isn't great are his accessories.
Where are they?
Chopper really doesn't come with much at all, as he mainly only comes with faceplates. Yeah, he comes with 4 interchangeable faceplates, a neutral resting face, a shocked, tense face, at least that's what it looks like to me, but y'all let me know what y'all think. Then he comes with a crying face, which I actually love because y'all know Chopper, he be crying. And this face is fun to mess around with. And lastly, he comes with an eyes squinted happy face, which looks good and makes me happy. Good selection of faces and are all done clean. Also, for those of y'all are curious about how to swap them, I'll show y'all now. First, you take his visor off, then pop the front of his helmet off, take the current face out, put the new one in, and then put the front of the helmet and then the visor piece back in, and bam, the faces are swapped. Then he comes with a DLC faceplate for Luffy, and who would have guessed? Yep, another smiling face. I know. At least it does look good, and it's a little bit different than the other ones we've gotten like this, as his eyes are like double lined, and it is a good face. Just sucks though, it's another happy face. At least the next few DLC faces aren't happy, so maybe this is the last time for a while. Then Chopper comes with no alternative hands, he only has these. And I know, you're probably like, what other hands could he have come with? Well, I think he could have came with like a holding something hand and some cotton candy, since he is cotton candy eating Chopper. And I feel like it wouldn't break the budget either, including those items, because he really doesn't come with anything else besides the stand, which is required with this figure, as he does have trouble standing without it, so you need it. Also, it is cool to have, since you can have him hit some flight and fun poses with it. But that is it for the accessories, so that does stink. Least is only $35, though for that price, I still feel like he could have came with more. Overall, the accessories get a rating of mid for me, so let's now take a look at his articulation. Chopper's articulation is decent for what it is. I mean, the design of the character makes it like that, and Tamashii did the best they could with what they had to work with. So, you can hit some poses, but nothing crazy. Just some simple basic cute poses. First, his head range is decent. He can look a tiny bit upwards, a tiny bit downwards, gets good side-to-side motion, and pretty limited tilt. Then, this little hood piece can go up and down. Then at the shoulders they can go this far upwards, which is fine, but as for crossing over, yeah, don't even think about it. Also at the shoulders there is some rotation and you can wiggle them around and stuff. Then he has single jointed elbows that get decent range, and he has good wrist articulation. Now for the torso articulation, it relies on this mid-cut area, which is pretty much his waist. It works fairly well for the most part, as he can move around decently, though the crunch isn't the best, forwards that is, because backwards it ain't that bad. And then it gets good side-to-side motion and pretty good tilt. Then for the legs, they go this far forwards, this far backwards, and then this far outwards. Not horrible, but the legs are definitely hindered some by the skirt. Then his ankles are pretty limited, as they can only rotate and wiggle around a tiny bit. So yeah, as y'all can see, Chopper's articulation isn't anything crazy, but they did the best they could in my opinion with the design and size of his character. Though it would be cool if he did have some knee joints and if he could hit some deep dynamic poses, but the way they designed it, it just isn't happening. But you still can get some fun and cute poses. And speaking of poses, let's see how he looks pose up next to some other figures. First, here he is next to the other One Piece SHOs, and he fits right in as he is way smaller than all of them, which is accurate. Like here he is next to Egghead Luffy, these two look nice to each other and I'll definitely have them displayed side by side. Then here he is next to the Anime Heroes Chopper. Now, I'm gonna say this, SHF might be higher quality and articulate better, but the Anime Heroes is still only $20 and comes with plenty of optional parts, and having it is still a good decision in my opinion, because I can't say the SHF is just way better when it's not. Sort of on the same level in my opinion. Then here he is next to Crying Chopper, I guess they can both cry now. Here he is next to Gear 5 Luffy and Blackbeard, here he is next to Nami and Zoro, here he is next to Ace, here he is next to Imagination Works Luffy, here he is next to Team Gojo, here he is next to Demon Knuckle Fit Goku, and lastly, here he is next to Storm Collectibles Yujiro Hama. Overall, this figure is a decent release in this line. I mean, it's nothing crazy, it's Chopper, and they did the best they could translating it into figure form in my opinion. So I guess I should say the execution for what they can do is good, but the figure overall is still decent. Like, he looks great, which is the main thing going for him, as his accessories are pretty lacking. And the same can be said for the articulation, as it doesn't have much going on as well. And even for a $35 release, it's sorta lame, Like, I feel like since he isn't that big and his articulation is obviously going to be limited, they should just include more stuff. Like, toss the DLC Luffy faceplate and come with some cotton candy or something. I don't know. Or just make this release cheaper, like 20 to 25 bucks. But at least he doesn't cost any more than $35, which is the max you should pay for this guy. But I know, this is the first SHF Chopper, and for some of you, Chopper is your fave character, and if that's the case, then get it, because you'll love having it on your display. But if you really don't care for Chopper or this look, easy pass in my opinion. And that's it for this one, guys. What do you think about this release, and are you copping, or are you just going to wait for pre-time skip Chopper? Not gonna lie, if they do make that version, hope it's like a multi-pack with many of his forms, Might be expensive, but it'd be cool. And yeah, thanks a bunch for watching, and don't forget there's a giveaway happening right now in the Killua video, so go check that out now if you haven't. I appreciate all the support, and as always, One Piece is on top.